Hi everyone, this is Scott in the Old Curiosity Shop. This is a Guess What Sold on eBay number 3 video. And I'm actually going back to the last couple of days of February. Today is March the 6th. So I had an okay week. But I'm going to go back and show you things from February the 27, 28, and then up till yesterday because nothing sold today. So we'll start here. I was really happy to sell this because this lusterware is so thin and so fragile, breakable, and there were no chips on it, and it's one of the first things that I actually listed in my shop when I started 2 months ago. And this Czechoslovakian typical orange color, orange and black color of that kind of lusterware sold to someone in Florida for $24.99. And I only paid, I don't remember what I paid. It's marked on the bottom there. You can see Czechoslovakian lusterware. That's a typical color for, there weren't any cups or plates, but he was happy to get it. Okay, so that's annoying that I'm going to keep disappearing. This is a Pyrex bowl with a lid. I think they call it Crazy Daisy. That's what I put in my title, and it sold for $19.99, the base and the lid. The pictures on this weren't that good because I took them on the windowsill during twilight, and I didn't really have very good lighting. This thing was a beast to ship. It was very heavy, and it went to Nevada, and it actually cost about $20 to ship it. So I lost money on this because I only charged the person about $8.50 in shipping. You live and you learn. This is a little gingham Vernonware sugar bowl with a lid from the 50s. That I think I sent to Arizona, and that sold for 15 bucks. This is a 1930s lucite and butterscotch Bakelite lamp, which I've had for a while. I sold it for $34.99. This was never in any of my haul videos because I had it listed before then. I don't know if you can see, but each one of these little segments, you see how they sort of, well, they're all hand cut. And so they're not exactly the same size. There's a little bit of difference in the size to the pieces. But a really interesting lamp from the Depression era. Here are 4 Fire King de-handled mugs that I paid, I think, 50 cents each for. And they were in one of my haul videos. Those sold for $19.99. Now, as to not bore you, I'm going to go very quickly through this. I also sell men's dress shirts. This was a good week. I sold 4 of them. I think I only have 3 examples here, but I only pick them up if they are dry cleaned and in excellent condition. And I've learned to do this because while I'm in thrift shops, I realize I'm leaving money on the table. So I quickly look through men's shirts, and I have a section called men's dress shirts, and I do pretty well with it. This Brooks Brothers shirt actually ended up doing a sale. That one sold for $11. This Tommy Hilfiger shirt sold for $12.74 with the 15% off sale. And Vineyard Vines, which is a very great, very good designer label, that shirt sold for $29.74. And I usually only pay about $2 or $3 for my shirts. They're easy to ship. They're kind of boring because I'm not really into you know, men's clothing except the clothing that I'm wearing, but I do make money on them. So that's the last of the men's shirts I'm going to show you. Here's an orange Pyrex bowl, Cinderella Daisy. That was 10 bucks, $10. That had just a few little places on the side where the finish was gone, but it doesn't look that bad. Oh, I was so happy to sell these because they creep me out. Yes, and I sold them for $55. These are those 2 Happy and Sad Greek comedy masks in chalkware that I picked up, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago. I did put them in a thrift haul. I didn't pay much for them. I can't remember now because I don't have my notes with me, but I was so glad to get those things wrapped up and out of here because they're just creepy. The $55 isn't creepy. Whenever I go to a flea market, after I go through the whole place, I will go back and take my time and actually look at people's CDs if they're selling them for $1 a piece. It took me a while, but I did put together a small collection here of these ultra lounge CDs that Capitol Records put out maybe longer than 10 years ago, 10 or 15 years ago. And it's all lounge music from, you know, the 60s. All of these CDs were $1 each, and I wound up with a small set of 9 of them, and they sold for $50. So sometimes there are niche areas where you can actually buy and sell CD recordings. Here's a vintage 78 RPM call from 1947, the Leroy Abernathy Quartet. This is interesting. This 78 sold for $15, and it's kind of a precursor to rock and roll and boogie woogie. And that actually has some scratches and some scuffs on it, but it sounded really good, and the guy was happy to get it. Did I disappear again? I'm back. Here are 2 more CDs that were also $1 each, and I sold them for $20. You have to be, you know, you can't really sell like common CDs that were heavily produced and sold, you know, thousands and thousands of copies. There's not a lot of money in it. These are 2 theater organ CDs, and so there are collectors and aficionados of, you know, the mighty Wurlitzer and other pipe organs, and I was actually able to sell these 2 CDs for $20, and I paid $1 each. And they're really easy to ship, and you can ship them medium mail, which is pretty cheap. This I was excited about. I picked these up. They sold for $23, and they're really small. Maybe, well, does it say in my description? It probably says somewhere. They're very cheap. The artwork is actually cardboard. There's no glass. The frames are cheap. But they have a really neat, you can see how cheap the frames are. I wasn't really familiar with this artist at all, but the reason why I bought them was because of the colors. It's really iconic of that 1960s era. They probably only cost a few dollars at a dime store or something like that, and someone doing a vintage 60s decor was really happy to get these at $23. And yesterday I sold my Meissen snuff box, not for $1.99. I ended up taking $1.60, but I was very happy to do it because I paid $3 or $4 for this at a thrift shop in West Philadelphia. I was really surprised to find an 1850s German-made Meissen snuff box, porcelain snuff box, and I knew it was Meissen because of right there. That is the 2 crossed swords. They're upside down, but that's the Meissen symbol. And the Meissen company has been making really good German porcelain for, I don't know, something like 300 years. And this was a really pretty box. Probably could have gotten more for it, but you know, listen, anytime I can take $5, put it in the bank, and then 2 or 3 weeks later withdraw $160, I'm going to do it. So I was happy to go ahead and sell it to a collector who was thrilled to get it. So that's it. That's my guess what sold on eBay for the last couple of days of February up until today, which is March the 6th. We are expecting 10 inches of snow and blizzard-like conditions to start here in Philadelphia. So I'm going to go light a fire, put something in the crock pot, and I will see you maybe later with a thrift haul video. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop saying so long for now.